back in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. We're out here at the Christian Village, the area's leader for senior living and healthcare services. Give them a call at 732-218-9482. Are they always gracious enough to have us out here all the time, Jake?
Oh, yeah. We've got with us today from the Christian Village our chaplain, Ryan Edgecombe. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Good to be with you guys.
Supporting
today.
the college theme. Is that your...
This is where my wife went to school, Olivet Nazarene
Oh, okay.
University.
Yeah, nice. And you were, before you were talking about all the new things that they were doing there. Kind of a neat, I've never heard of a lazy river and a new student center. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they got a brand new student center they're building complete with a lazy river. They just recently built a new chapel. It's really nice.
It must be, I guess you could study while you're on the inner tube.
Yep, on the raft.
Right. Yeah. So, and you're a graduate of Lincoln Christian University?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Is that something you're going to be kind of pushing towards the community here at
Lincoln Christian University needs a lazy river.
Or even the Christian Village.
Oh, the Christian Village.
Wonderful.
I would think how the residents would enjoy that. You know?
Yes.
I guess the lifeguarding duties may go up a little bit. Ryan, chaplain, describe what your role is out here at the Christian Village. I mean, can you kind of explain what you do?
Yeah. I'm very thankful we have pastoral care here at this retirement community. Most nursing homes you'll find do not have a chaplain on staff whatsoever. So that says a lot about our mission and values. You know, when we look at a person, we don't just look at their physical needs, we look at them in terms of social needs and spiritual needs. We want to minister to the whole person. And so part of my role, I do things that just a traditional minister would do at a local church, you know, preaching sermons, Bible studies, chapel services, visiting folks in the hospital, visiting and providing pastoral care to people on hospice. I officiate weddings and funerals. So part of that role is very much like what a regular minister would do. Mm-hmm. Part of it has to do with just one-on-one pastoral care, because if you can imagine that each person who lives in a retirement community is dealing with grief on various levels. They're dealing with loss on various levels. You know, they've lost their home. They're not as independent as they used to be. They're on other people's timetable and schedule. You know, it's time for breakfast. It's time for lunch. Time to play bingo. And so you can imagine there's going to be a sense of loss and grief and change that each resident deals with, related to their health as well, declining health. And so a lot of work I do is grief work. How do we reach out to God for hope in times like this? How do we support one another in times like this? How do we recognize that life is still beautiful and worth living even when we're going through, you know, serious challenges? That's a lot of what I do. And, you know, we believe here that life is worth living and God-honoring, whether you're on the giving end of love and grace and care, or whether you're on the receiving end of love and grace and care. And so we rejoice in life in all its aspects here, and we look for the good and we praise it. So that's a lot of the work that I do here.
Yeah, and obviously you've been part of this community through your college years. Also, where are you from, Ryan?
I'm from north of Decatur, out in the country around Oriana. Went to Oriana High School, the Bombers.
Yeah, I've been there before. But your work in the community here, how does the community here in Lincoln and Logan County partner in the work that you do at the Christian Village?
We are very blessed to have a wonderful network of supporters. We have supporting churches all over central Illinois, from Lincoln, Broadwell, Elkhart, Williamsville, Waynesville, Emden, Hartsburg, Atlanta, Mount Pulaski, Champaign. We have volunteers that come as far away from Champaign, Bloomington, Havana. Because we were the first out of our 14 homes and Christian homes, we have a very good volunteer base, good base of support from our churches, and they really get our mission. They get they understand the idea of being the hands and feet of Jesus Christ to those who live here at the Christian Village, and reaching out to them and providing the best quality of care that they can have, and really shooting for excellent quality of care. So we're very, very blessed. We have volunteers that come every day, Monday through Friday and on Sunday, and they come from a variety of churches, and they do everything from helping out in the dining room, passing fresh ice water to the residents, visiting with residents, which is really our biggest need. We need folks who'd be willing just to come maybe a couple times a month and just be with the residents and get to know them and share in their stories and learn about their life history and that sort of thing. So yeah, we have a really good support system. If anyone would like to, if they're interested in volunteering, we have a director of volunteers named Arlene Van Hook. And if you call our number, 217-732-2189, and ask for Arlene, she can give you information on volunteering.
Yeah, it sounds like with all the volunteers and it's such is a big place that you run here. Those are obviously much needed.
Yeah, we have over 100 residents here in the nursing home, and then we have folks in the independent living across the street, about another 70, give or take, in the congregate building and the garden homes. And you know, whether you're living independently or whether you're living in skilled care, you know, as we said, each person, we treat them as a whole person. So there are spiritual needs there. Even folks in independent living are dealing with change and dealing with loss, with growing older and needing more help. And so, you know, we can help address their needs too.
Sounds good. Well, Ryan, we want to thank you for coming in this morning and letting us know what's going on out here at the Christian Village, and any new topics or things that you'd like to let our listeners know, or come out for a tour or anything.
Well, you know, you probably have mentioned in the past, we do have a new administrator, Jo Hilliard. She comes to us from Mount Pulaski. She's doing a wonderful job. So we're very, very thankful to have her on board with us. Yeah, you know, we wound, you know, around Christmas time, we have so much stuff
going on. It's time to wind down.
Now we're getting that all.
Right.
It's been done with, so now we're just looking at. We want to get through winter and get to the spring.
Yeah, prepare for the spring, for the nice weather hopefully coming up.
Yes.
But Ryan, thanks for having us out again. As always, a big supporter of the Cheap Seats is the Christian Village, and thank you for coming out. And we'll be back here in just a couple minutes. Jake and I got to talk a little bit about some sports things. Illinois and Indiana was just Thursday night, and we'll preview and maybe even some baseball talk if Jake feels like talking about his Cardinals. Not me. But we'll be back here at the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online. Back out here at the Christian Village. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston, as
and Joe, the camera guy.
Oh, yeah, and Joe.
Hi, Joe.
The cameraman. Joe bringing you all the sights and sounds of the Rayler basketball, Rayler football, the Cheap Seats program. As Jake, we got to announce our Super Bowl contest winner, and and she was a landslide win. Landslide, not even close.
On a technicality.
Not even comparable. You got to call.
Good point.
Jake's bringing up all these guys after the Super Bowl. Said, "Oh yeah, I would have called.
No,
I would have called in, and
prior.
I would have said Baltimore 54."
No, it was prior. It was right when I got back to the store. But at the same time, I told him, I said, "Why didn't you just call in?"
Right. You got to hear your voice heard on the radio.
Yeah.
And it was Grandma V.
Grandma.
I mean, if anybody was going to pick it, it's her.
Sports.
I mean, she's probably seen more sporting events and games and everything than half of Lincoln's seen.
She's
combined.
Forgotten more about Lincoln basketball.
There's no question about it. There's no question about it. Grandma V wins the Super Bowl challenge. She picked the Ravens. It didn't even matter what score she picked because nobody else picked the Ravens.
That's exactly right.
We had 9 contestants, and everybody else took San Fran. So I didn't even have to add anything up, didn't have to look back at the score. No. I saw Ravens, Grandma V, boom, you're staying at the Hampton Inn.
Yep.
That's
it really wasn't much of a game until Beyonce knocked the power out.
Right. Well, that's what it took. Maybe she was on the 49ers. She had to give a little change.
I don't know about all that, but dang.
Yeah. Yeah, it was entertaining, but yet Grandma V, we will get that in the mail to you. You are the winner of the overnight stay at the Hampton Inn, and also while you're staying, you don't even have to go get anything. Stuffteria can bring you a pizza because you got a free pizza for delivery
what
too.
What kind of pizza would you get from the Stuffteria?
A lot.
I'm thinking I'd get a taco pizza.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's one of my favorites.
Not bad. So we'll send that stuff out to you. Everybody else, thanks for calling in and emailing in your picks. Just unfortunately for the rest, you were not correct. But as who would have thought? A lot of people thought the San Fran was going to win.
Yeah.
But the Ravens were riding Ray Lewis for that last victory for him.
I think they were riding the San Francisco's secondary.
Probably, yeah.
To be honest, it was torching time.
Jake, Thursday night, the Illini got them back into the tournament. Of course.
Possibly.
Well, no way. They're in now.
Boy, I don't know. They still have to, they have to prove something. You can't just get an occasional big win and get into the tournament. I think you have to have some consistency. And you know what? They've got one coming up right now. Today, I believe they play, I believe it's 5 o'clock today. I'm not even sure. But they've got Minnesota today. That's a big game, man. They need that win. We'll see what happens, but
they got Minnesota
win
today.
Yeah.
Oh man.
At Minnesota.
Oh no,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you got that. Okay, right as soon as you get done with that, you got Purdue at home. Okay, that should be a win. But then you got Northwestern at Northwestern. They'd already beat
us at home.
That's exactly right. So you need some consistency. They're not in yet, man. They need to get some wins.
Lenardi, the expert of the bracketology, had at the time of the game, and even during the game, Illinois was on the last 4 out of the tournament.
Yep.
Now they're back in.
I'm telling you right now, if you're on the bubble and you're in the Big Ten, you're not in.
Why?
Because
it's the best conference in football or basketball.
That's exactly right. And you know how the bias has been over the years against, these big schools. They want to get a couple more of these smaller schools in there, and they're kind of knocking these guys out, saying, all they had to do was win one more game. You do not want to be that team. The Illini need to run off a string of a couple wins here.
Well, it'll be tough today. Minnesota's a good basketball team, especially at home.
Especially at home.
They're coming off a loss. I believe it was to Michigan State the other night. So that'll be a tough one for the Illini.
Well,
but
the next 3 games in a row, we've lost all 3 of those teams.
Yeah. So
you got Minnesota, Purdue, and Northwestern.
Yeah.
So
it was a big win, and obviously it turned their hopes, their confidence, hopefully around. It's not that Illinois can't go and win.
No.
It's just that we have not been.
Correct. It's not the consistency like we had at the very beginning of the year.
And Gross was adamant about saying, I'm going to put, and he does this, and I've read this, I've heard this, and he even said it. He does this statistical thing on defense, tip-aways, steals, rebounds, all this kind of stuff. And he grades every player out, and that's who got the starting 5. Yeah. That's how you're getting into the starting 5, is who grades out the best on defense. Well, it worked against Indiana.
Yeah.
So let's go do it again.
That's exactly right.
So,
maybe, like I said, maybe they could pull off a couple wins. The nice little layup there at the end may give a young man some confidence.
He needed
again.
it. He had some big threes.
And, if he can move forward, to be honest, the Illini play really well when he's hidden.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I'm not saying that he has to be a big part of the game, but if he can make a couple big shots, boy, they're a totally different team.
Egwu's got to stay out of foul trouble. Just the dumbest fouls I've seen.
Yeah.
Hedging out on a screen 35 feet from the basket and you pick up a foul. I mean, the guy's fouled out of, I think, 3 out of the last 5 games, and the other 2, he had 4 fouls. So he's hampered with fouls all the time. He's 6'11". He's our best defensive guy if we have one. Yeah. And he's got to stay in. He's got to find ways to not get in foul trouble, especially today. Against Mbakwe from Minnesota, and also the high leaper they've got. Forget his name now all the time. But give us a call real quick. We only got a couple minutes left. 737-3791. Talk about that Illini victory or the upcoming. Jake, one thing I want to ask you. I know you sponsor a suite at the Big Ten tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get in that. What a tournament that will be in Chicago.
It's invite only, Josh.
Oh, dang. I bought my furniture from you.
Yeah.
But that was 6 years ago, but
yeah. Sorry. Big Ten tournament.
That thing. I mean, can you imagine? Ohio State has looked better and better. You've got Minnesota, who is good. Michigan State, is going to be there.
Man.
Indiana, Michigan, the Illini. I'm talking. You go on that Friday or Saturday, you're going to see an all-out war.
Absolutely.
And just phenomenal games.
And probably. Well, I don't know if there is an argument. Best conference in basketball.
I don't think there's any question about it.
A lot of depth, a lot of talent, and a lot of good coaches in this in the Big Ten.
I'd love to go.
Going into the Big Ten tournament.
Love to go.
We get shrimp brought to the room and
I figured you would. I'm sure
nice amenities.
Sure you would. I'll be watching it from my home probably. But no, that would be if anything. If I've never been, even when Brian Cook was going through school, of course I was off to school and not able to go playing baseball and stuff. But that's when a lot of people I know attended the Big Ten tournament. But if you were ready to go to something like that, boy, if this isn't the year.
Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed in the games you're going to see. That's for sure.
I mean, and I would love for it to be in Indianapolis, just a different place. I've been to the United Center. I want to go to a different place. I've never been over to Conseco Fieldhouse, so I wished it was over there. But for the most part, if I can get away, I'm going to try and go on that Friday.
All right, I'll give you a ticket.
Thanks. Gee, thanks. I'll get into the luxury suite sponsored by Jake's Furnishings. Jake, it's already 10:01. It was went by quick today.
Yeah.
But
we didn't even get a touch on the rebounded free throw with the coach or anything to get his blood pressure going.
You mean when the Mr. Swain got the rebound on the free throw? Yeah. But you may not receive any more purchases from any of the regular basketball players because you brought that up after Coach left.
Oh, good.
And now he's mad. And now he's like, you know what? I'm gonna.
But do you think they really know if we didn't have this conversation that I was the one that brought it up?
Coach will probably say it. Coach will probably.
You're probably right.
Coach will probably get. Hey, we also want to remind everybody, it's a Rock and Shout Railer Blackout tonight at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium as the Rail Splitters take on Glenbrook South at 7:30. No, actually not 7:30. It's 6:30.
6:30. Yeah.
We forgot that it's an early Saturday. Again, 6:30 game for the varsity. 5 o'clock for the sophomore. And remember, guys, this sophomore team, won 52-22 last night. They're now, I believe, I know they've only lost one. I don't know exactly. I knew it's 18 or 19-1. If you've not seen this team, if you were probably to talk to Coach Greg Alexander last night, it wasn't their best 3 quarters of basketball, but when the fourth came on, they turned it on. 52-22. They're now 18. I'll give them 19-1 on the season. So get out at 5 o'clock. They are a very fun group to watch. Man, they pass the ball just like the varsity team does. Crisp passes. They got guys that can go to the rack. They've got guys that can shoot it. They play exceptionally hard. So they're also fun.
It gets you even more excited. I mean, this year's been so good, but it gets you even more excited for next year.
I mean, there's talent that just keeps coming, and guys that understand how to play the game. They're very unselfish. They're a lot of fun to watch, as is the varsity. But that's a 5 o'clock game as the sophomores. At 6:30 as the varsity. Show your Railer pride when you buy a Railer Cheerleaders quality screen-printed blackout T-shirt for only $10 now by contacting any JV or varsity cheerleader or cheerleading coach Lauren Morris. And they'll also be sold in the lobby at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. So don't miss out to Rock and Shout Railer Blackout tonight at LCHS, and let's black out Roy S. Anderson with Railer Pride. A special thanks goes to WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.
These are some good-looking shirts, man.
Yeah, got mine last night.
Yeah.
Kids loved it. Of course, they had to wear it to bed last
absolutely.
night, but they're ready to black it out. So.
Absolutely. Jim's wearing one today.
Oh,
showing
he's already
it off.
sponsoring it.
Oh yeah.
Showing it off already.
He's a corporate man.
Yeah, we'll see everybody out at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium tonight. Come out and show your support for the Rails. If not, of course, we'll have it on 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This is Josh Komnick for Jake.
Good day.
We're out, and see you next Saturday.